This is the Health Rebels podcast hosted by me, Steve Hicks. I have over a decade of experience as a personal trainer, and during that time, I have watched the smartest fitness advice fail people because we keep thinking that health and fitness is an individual's problem. The reality is there are forces all around us that are constantly pushing us to a default of being unhealthy and unhappy. To become truly healthy and happy, we have to rebel against those forces. So if you're ready to steal back control over your health and happiness, join me as we strip away the nonsense and show you the simple, healthy habits that will transform you into a health rebel. Let's dive into today's episode.
Welcome back, Rebel. Hey, we've been discussing the holistic wheel, the 6 components to a healthy lifestyle, the 6 components to healthy habits. And we've been talking about, so far, mindset, the absolute most crucial, the most important component to a healthy lifestyle. We talked about activity, the most popular, the sexy, the rock star, the big, the flashy component, and we talked about how it's often misused or misapplied and how rebels apply activity instead. And today, oh man, we got the dark underworld. We got nutrition. Nutrition is an absolutely crucial component to a healthy lifestyle. However, man, nutrition is the dark underbelly of the health and fitness world. What nutrition is a quagmire of misconstrued information, myths, misleading information, and just straight up lies. Nutrition is a really dangerous and difficult thing to talk about because nutrition's turned into a religion. Everyone's picked a side, everyone's picked a team, and they are all in. Whether they're on the keto team, the carnivore team, the vegan team, the vegetarian team, whatever team they have chosen, that is their absolute divine truth. And today, man, we're gonna upset some people. We're gonna upset some people because I'm not gonna give in to any of that dogma. What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about nutrition and we're gonna give it a brand new focus. Oftentimes people talk about nutrition as if there are stuff that is good and bad. There are good foods and bad foods. There are, foods that make you healthy and foods that make you an evil, dirty sinner with no self-control, and how dare you eat a donut. But we're not going to go with that. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about nutrition not as a good or bad or a right and wrong thing. We're just going to talk about nutrition as a way to provide resources. This is a way to provide resources to your body because ultimately life is this continual cycle of breaking down cells and rebuilding cells. Breaking down cells and rebuilding cells. And to rebuild cells, we need resources. And nutrition is how we provide resources to the body. Look, let's be perfectly clear on this. Every cell in your body, every function you operate on is built by food. Everything in your body is made up of food. The blood cells that transport oxygen in your body, they're made up of proteins that we get by eating. The muscles that flex when you lift weights, they're made up of proteins that we get by eating. The nerve cells and the brain cells that help you think and communicate all across the body, they're made up of fats that we get by eating. The enzymatic cofactors that help different functions in the body, they're made up of vitamins and minerals that we get by eating, right? The energy stores that we create, the energy that we run off, the ATP, they get created by glucose that's made from carbohydrates that we get from eating. Every cell and every function in your body is built by food. Food is a way to provide resources to the body. And that is an absolutely crucial way to think about food that's going to free you from all of the diet dogma that you've heard in the past. It is resources. There are healthy resources in food that we're trying to consume. And all food has resources, even junk food, even donuts. Look, donuts have a lot of fat, a lot of carbohydrates, which are going to break down and get repurposed and provide and build stuff within the body. Now, do we want a diet based exclusively on donuts? Of course not. We want to provide more resources, and we want to make sure we're providing resources in the right quantities. But it's all about resources, and everything you eat will provide resources that your body can use. Now, I did hint at, we do want to make sure to provide the right resources in the right quantities. And the way I would think about this is, my nephew loves to build Legos. My nephew loves to make, he's got all the sets. He's got Lego Harry Potter sets. He's got Lego Space Explorer sets. And if you're going to make a space rocket made out of Legos, you have to have the right Legos. If I give him the box of Legos that come from the Harry Potter set and I ask him to build me a rocket, he can probably get creative and make something kind of sort of work, but it's going to be janky. It's not going to be the best rocket. It's not going to function properly. It's not going to look well. It's going to have some things, but it'll get the job done. Your body's the same way. The resources we eat, they're essentially Legos. And what your body is doing is trying to build the best version of yourself with the Legos you've provided it. If you provide the wrong Legos, the body will do its job and do the best it can. It'll look different. It might not function the best, but it'll do the best it can with what it does. If we really want to make the best you we can, then obviously we want to look at getting the right Legos, getting the right resources, and there's a lot of conversation we can have there. Bear in mind, when I say right, that does not imply that there are wrong Legos. They're just not the Legos we're looking for. There are not the wrong resources. There's not bad food substances. They're just not necessarily what we're looking for in those quantities. And so the Rebel Nutrition, because we're focused on resources, when we think about building a meal, we're talking about nutrition by addition. We're adding resources to our plate. We're adding different variety of resources to our plate. We're adding a different balance of resources to our plate, right? We're always adding as a Rebel to our nutrition. The common approach is through the diet mentality. It's always taking stuff away. It's always restricting. And why? Why on earth would you ever take away resources from your body? If you take away resources, you're going to take away health from the cells. And if you take away health from the cells, you're going to take away the ability for your body's functions to operate at the right level. So we don't want to restrict stuff. We don't want to pull away, and we don't want to restrict the access to resources. We want to focus on nutrition by addition. Now, there's a lot more we can talk about this, and I do go in depth with my clients about how to execute this at each meal and how to be flexible about this so that when you're out and about, you can get the right resources for yourself from whether it's your family barbecue, whether it's a birthday party, whatever the situation might be. Thinking about food as a resource allows you to pick the right resources that you need for your body. So that is Rebel Nutrition. Something that you might not have heard me say was calories. We do not talk about calories. We do not focus on calories. We focus on the resources that food provides us. And I know that's crazy and that's wonky, and if you want to know more about that, or if you want to send me hate mail because life is all about calories in the world that you've learned about, you can send me hate mail at steven@healthrebels.us. But a health rebel does not focus on calories. A health rebel focuses on adding resources to provide for the body so that we can build the best body available. And that is nutrition. That is a completely counter perspective. That's a completely opposite perspective from what you're hearing from most people. I know. I usually get the most pushback on nutrition. But I hope that frees things for you. Instead of having foods that are good and bad, there are foods that provide some resources and some that provide a lot more of other resources, and we pick foods that should provide the resources that we want in that moment. And it's always about adding. It's always about adding resources, adding nutrition, adding nutrients. It's nutrition by addition. That is the healthy component of nutrition. That is the Rebel approach to nutrition. Tomorrow, we're talking about sleep. Sleep's not a very sexy topic unless you really like naps. But honestly, sleep to me is more important than activity or nutrition, and it may be more important than activity and nutrition put together. So come back tomorrow. We're going to talk about sleep, why it's such a healthy component, why it's such a crucial component in the holistic wheel, and we're going to get you all that information, plus the most powerful tool you can use to get better sleep that helps be more regenerative and more healthful for your body. So come on back for that tomorrow, and until then, Rebel, keep the oath. Hey, thanks for listening to that episode of the Health Rebels podcast. Before you run off, I want to let you know about a free resource available for you. I do have a free Facebook community where I do daily live chats with other Health Rebels, provide more information, host group challenges, provide support, and just generally try to put more positivity on your newsfeed instead of the typically toxic political hate that we get surrounded by already. If you're not already in the Health Rebels Training Camp Facebook group, I'll tell you what, I'll sweeten the deal. When you join the Facebook group, I'll send you a free digital copy of my Health Rebels Pocketbook Guide. This little book highlights some of the hidden forces that have conspired against our health and happiness and gives you 2 powerful tools to fight back. You can join the Health Rebels Training Camp group by visiting www.facebook.com/groups/Health Rebels. That's an S after both groups and Health Rebels. Or by checking out the show notes. You can also search on Facebook for Health Rebels Training Camp. I hope to see you inside.